Well, hey there, HVAC pros and enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The HVACR Learning Network has just launched an exciting new e-learning course, High Performance Heat Pumps. And guess what? We're giving you free access to the first 2 chapters. Whether you're in the field, training for that next step, or simply want to sharpen your expertise, this course is packed with everything you need to understand and master high-performance heat pump systems, especially inverter-driven cold climate heat pumps. And the best part? You can access it anytime, anywhere, right from your favorite mobile device. It's HVACR learning made flexible and convenient for you. So what are you waiting for? Click the link. Dive into the HVACR Learning Network and start your free trial today. Your journey to HVACR mastery begins here.
Refrigerant recovery is the foundation for life cycle refrigerant management, as without safe refrigerant recovery, there cannot be reclamation or reuse. A-Gas Rapid Recovery is an on-site refrigerant recovery service that gives businesses an easy way to contain their used refrigerants.
Not a whole lot of companies do what we do. We handle some of the grunt work that they don't want to do, and we can do it 10 times as fast as they can. The recovery portion, the cylinder exchanges, and buying back used material that otherwise can't be used.
We play a big role with our contractors, whether that be HVAC, mechanical, or demolition contractors. Our whole purpose is to get on site and not only help them save money in the project, but offer an environmental solution.
We do not want any of these products getting vented to atmosphere, no matter how low the GWP is. Now it's not only the cylinder to recover the product, but it's making sure the technicians have equipment that are rated to work with flammable gases. That's really important for people.
So by us being able to contain it in cylinders, reclaim it, we're saving the environment one recovery at a time.
My name is Mike Idle. Today I wanted to give you an overview of Amatrol's T7300 HVAC control system. This system is designed to align a hands-on workstation, as you see here, along with interactive curriculum to teach the operation, installation, application, and troubleshooting of control systems related to the HVAC industry. As components and features of HVAC systems get smarter in both the residential and commercial fields, it's important for current and future HVAC technicians to be trained up. What types of circuits are used, familiarity, learning, operation, maintenance, troubleshooting are all important areas to cover in that.
Here at NAVAC, we are obsessed with delivering the best HVAC tools on the market. Our tools are built for professionals and engineered for precision, just like Harley-Davidson motorcycles. NAVAC Nation, it's time for you to feel the power both on and off the job site. Let's stand up in our pursuit of perfection. From coast to coast, NAVAC forges the path forward. Wherever you are, we will be right beside you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. You know, it's finally changing weather just a little bit here in the Midwest today. You know, I'm broadcasting from Brownsburg, Indiana. I've not been out in the studio for the last few weeks because our highs has been in the teens. It has been kind of miserable. Mark, what's your weather today?
I'm in Dallas, Texas, so there's still snow on the ground here, believe it or not. It's clearing up a little bit, but yeah, we've been stuck in the house since Friday. So yeah, the winter weather is even hitting us down here.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So we finally broke 20 degrees here. So I got some time to hop out into the studio and get our Amatrol basic refrigeration trainer, that 7045 installed. Got the DAC cutaways. So we're going to be doing classes on our basic refrigeration cycle, diving into, some of the scenarios that we would encounter in the world as we're looking at airflow, we're looking at refrigerant restrictions. We have a variety of different things that we'll be able to go through and do curriculum on. So if you have not introduced Amatrol trainers into your classroom, highly encourage you to take a look at the variety of different products that they have there. So getting very excited. We're already starting to build out our schedule for places that we will be touring this summer. One of them that we just confirmed today for the United Association, which is another one of our sponsors, our founding sponsors for this mobile studio. We will be up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, August. I have to relook at that. I think that is the 4th through the 8th. It's for the International Training Week, ITP Week. So we'll be at Washington Community College. It's going to be a lot of fun. And everyone, let us know where you're joining from. Glad to have you all here. Phoenix, 71 today, Jared. Boy, that sounds like some nice weather for sure. So we talk a lot about innovations and changes in our industry. We love seeing new products. We love to spend time with our manufacturers. And we really enjoy introducing to you new products and technologies because we're going through a rapid growth within our industry right now. We're seeing a lot of changes both in equipment design with refrigerant transitions. We're seeing a lot of artificial intelligence joining in for ways to help us be more efficient in the work that we do. South Jersey, 15 today, Murph. Yeah, or Paul, that's a little cool. I get it though. Yes, definitely not one of the days at the beach, is it? So we're going to spend a little bit of time today with a product that I've noticed for a while. Hey, thanks a lot for joining us, Kendrick, up in Chicago. Yeah, you're getting the brunt of it too right now. Osvaldo, I don't even want to hear it. Osvaldo is one of our regular members of this community. Mark, he's from down in Belize.
Yeah, a little different down in Belize right now.
Oh, I told him we're going to have to do a road show down to Belize. That's all.
Deal. I'll sign up. I'll join you.
So I've been following Quilt for a little while. As soon as you see the product, you can tell immediately that there's something different here. And so I wanted to bring Quilt in to talk about the product and talk about, how our industry is changing and the ways that we're doing that. And I would say that we're at a time in our industry where HVAC is starting to look sexy. HVAC is not just that piece of equipment that's hiding in that dirty closet. People are looking at comfort from an entirely new perspective. August 4th. I was thinking that was, Tom. So when we look at Quilt, you came to the industry with a very unique perspective. And so today we're going to talk about the way that you look at a design, performance, customization, different controls. I do have this loaded up into our queue, so you can run the slideshow from your side. If you just hover over it up at the top, you hover over the screen. Otherwise, I can skim through it. And so we're going to dive through some of the history. We're going to go through products. We're going to go through partner programs, and we want to make sure to connect you with Quilt along the way. So, Mark, you want to go ahead and start our introductions here, so everyone knows some of your background and why you have taken this path in our industry.
Well, thanks, Clifton. Thanks so much for allowing us to be a part of this, and for to your audience for being able to learn a little bit more about Quilt today. We're super excited to be here and tell you more about how we are continuing to redefine a category and continuing to bring innovation into this space. So I'm Mark Schmidt. I'm CRO here at Quilt. I spent a large chunk of my career in the HVAC industry, bringing new technologies and new products to help dealers improve their offering to homeowners, but also to be able to improve the efficiency of their business day to day, and make sure that we're not just designing products that look great on a homeowner's wall, but that also help with their bottom line and help reduce truck rolls and help with a number of other things to make sure that their businesses are operating as efficiently as possible. So I spent some time at Trane working in their smart home platform. So as Trane was adopting connected thermostat products and a number of other smart home technologies, as we started to sell those through Trane dealers, joined Nest, and you guys know the rest is history there. So acquired by Google, and spent a ton of time, working with HVAC dealers and distributors across the country. I probably sat in, I couldn't tell you how many, offices and conference rooms, talking to them about, connected thermostats and how, we could help increase their average ticket sale and just bring differentiation to their business overall. I ran an indoor air quality company in the middle of the pandemic. So yeah, I got to see another side of the industry, and then decided to join Quilt. And I decided to join for a number of reasons, not the least of which is, kind of bringing some innovation to a category that I believe has needed some for a while. Ductless is the fastest growing category in HVAC, right? It has been. But sometimes those units, right, they don't look as aesthetically pleasing on the wall as we believe that they should. And so we've really designed a product that we believe can fit really well into the home, that consumers will love. It kind of went from going from like a grudge purchase almost to something that becomes a piece of furniture and a piece that looks really good in your living room. So yeah, so you sort of see kind of industry incumbents have done a fantastic job of building up, kind of this market and really, doing a really good job of espousing the benefits of ductless and ductless heat pumps. And we're here today just to continue to help everyone on an electrification, journey and convert as many folks to ductless heat pumps as we possibly can. So yeah, as this slide says, right, we believe the industry is stagnant. It hasn't had a ton of innovation and differentiation over the last several decades. I think all products look the same. They all, a lot of them are white labeled, and then there's a logo that's slapped on the front, and you kind of call it a day. And in some cases, the consumer experience with things like remotes are a little bit clunky, and you lose them, and it doesn't do the best job at room by room control. So we've really redefined kind of what that experience looks like. As I mentioned, like ductless systems are sometimes a grudge purchase. If you are in the market for a ductless system, in some cases, the comfort advisor, the sales advisor is at the kitchen table and they say, we think ductless is right. And then said, okay, this is what it's going to look like on your wall. And folks are like, not really sure, right? I'd like to consider, other options. The head units are really big and clunky, and condensers, right? Even though it's outside the home, they haven't been the most attractive, and they're a little bit imposing. And so what we've done is build a modern HVAC company for the 21st century. So for us, it's not just about hardware; it's about software. It's about consumer experience, and most importantly, it's about experience for our partners, across the U.S. and Canada today.
Yeah, the whole cosmetic change is really something that I guess we haven't paid enough attention to in the past. We've built products that have just they blended into the environment. And in some scenarios that works great. But as we start looking at, these are not small investments as we start looking at modern high performance HVAC systems. And so to your point, like if I'm looking at a product, am I just going to throw the money at something because it's going to serve its purpose and it's going to look like every other one out there? Or am I going to incorporate that into my environment? And I personally enjoy that very much. I just finished building our studio, and we have one of our founding sponsors provided a high performance heat pump for it. And the very first question I asked him is, can I paint it black? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, my entire theme of the trailer is white with black trim. And I love your units. I love the performance, but the plain off white. And so I repainted it. And then now everyone sees it and they're like, wow, that's cool. I'm like, it's a heat pump with a fresh look and feel. And so customizing it to our own taste, really can bring it home, make it a personal experience and not just that purchase.
Yeah, and we think it's important that, yes, the fresh look and feel for ours is obviously great, but there's also, that's somewhat table stakes, right? Like it should look good, right? This should be the standard. And so we also want to continue to bring efficiency and design, right, into the product and software into the product as well. And to your point, like I say all the time, an HVAC system for many homeowners is probably the third largest purchase they'll ever make in their life. It's their home, it's their car, and then it's their HVAC system. And so it should be something that isn't a grudge purchase. It's to be something that you're proud to show and you're proud to talk about and you're proud to look at this, just like you would talk about your new couch or, that new piece of furniture in your home. You should be really proud to be able to talk about this beautifully designed product that's on your wall.
Completely agree with that.
Yeah, and so as I mentioned, in addition to like the most beautiful, we've also created the most intelligent and efficient system as well, and been able to build a really strong brand. So Quilt was founded back in 2022, but I think we're continuing to receive inbound from some of the largest partners in the country, and so it's a testament to our marketing team and how we're thinking a little bit differently, not just about marketing, but about how we brand and how we talk about our products and how we partner with folks to be able to sort of get the message out, and local creators in specific DMAs across the country. And we're taking a different approach with the awareness and the branding too.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing that caught my attention. I look at a lot of products. I keep an eye on everything that comes into our industry, from residential into our commercial, even some of our light industrial products. And when you see something that is different, you immediately want to learn more. And your product is definitely different.
Yeah, I'd love to turn the tables for a second and ask you a question, right? When you saw the brand, like what resonated with you? What was the thing where you said you see all kinds of products that were out there, but what was it specifically that you saw outside of the design that just made you feel that it was different than something else inside the industry today?
Well, knowing technology and knowing innovation, as we look at the performance of systems, I spend a lot of time on committees and subcommittees for like the Department of Energy. I work with groups like NREL and PNNL and Oak Ridge National Lab. And I have seen products come to the market that with simple reprogramming and monitoring of software can operate completely different. And so we have a lot of sophistication coming into our controls, into our algorithms. But at the same time, it's almost like how smartphones have adapted to the point where there are 1,000 different apps that you can have for your phone. You can do 1,000 different things at the same time while you're being bombarded with all of these advertisements and all this marketing. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a phone that said, this is actually going to be the best thing for you to use today. This is going to be your best experience today. And we're going to monitor, make sure this thing is efficient as possible and make your battery run as long as possible. That is what I see in technology and innovation that can be added to a product. And so when I seen you were doing that, it immediately caught my attention. And from the cosmetic side, I do a lot of woodworking. That's like one of my safe places. I can get away from social media and I get away from people. I can go out into the studio or go out into my shop and build something that looks really nice. And one of your products had a really clean wood trimmed look and feel that blended into the environment. And I went,
Yeah.
It's
really cool to see. If you look at a lot of our social content on Instagram or other places, I think our marketing team and our creative team, does a fantastic job of building out some of the best stuff in the industry today. But you'll notice that a lot of the folks that we work with closely, they're designers, right? They are folks who are extremely concerned about design and have built their careers and their social media presence on providing design-friendly options to their homeowners. And so for us, an HVAC company to be in the presence and having folks lean into us from the perspective of, yes, I have this beautifully designed ADU or this beautifully designed Eichler in California, or, this beautifully designed single family home in Argyle, Texas, right? Where I live, you can still have, this amazingly efficient heating and cooling system that ultimately looks really good on your wall. So yeah, we totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Okay, because that's what I felt when I seen it. And the more that I learn about the equipment, the more
Great. Sorry to put you on the spot. I may do it a couple more times.
No, I'm glad you did, because I feel like it's a merger of architecture and performance, and that's a good blend in today's world of new products and technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me tell you a little bit about our story too, since we're a new brand in market that has a ton of great credibility behind it. I'll tell you a little bit of how we got here and why we are kind of where we are today. So Quilt was founded in 2022. So founded by some ex-Googlers, and we hired a world-class design and engineering team from places like Google and Apple and Tesla and Nest. I jokingly say that I'm the least intelligent person in the building, right? At Quilt, we just have some amazing folks that that, come from, really, important or prestigious places, but also are just sort of bringing a different mindset, right, to the industry. It's a little bit of like, what's possible? What's the, what can we do, and how far can we take things, and how efficient can we make it, and how small can we make it, and how beautiful can we make it? And so, yeah, the team's done a fantastic job of kind of building something in a pretty short time period that is really redefining a category. So you can't just build pretty things, right? And you can't just have a bunch of really smart people in the room building them. You've got to go through some pretty extensive testing to make sure that they can live up to the claims that we make. And most importantly, to make sure that we're putting our partners in a really good place as they're offering, this product to homeowners. So we spent 2023 undergoing a ton of reliability testing, and we established a really high output, manufacturing line. We also own the software stack. And so we spent time building out, kind of everything, soup to nuts. In 2024, we beat AHRI, SEER2, and HSPF2 efficiency records. So we are the most efficient 2-zone ductless heat pump in the market today, and the most efficient 3-zone ductless heat pump in the market today. And we're doing it right in a really small form factor, leveraging, a number of components, but also most importantly, software that we'll speak to in a second to continue to drive efficiency inside the systems. And we deployed Quilt in hundreds of homes. And then today we're partnering with leading HVAC, contractors across the country. So the good news is our partner count, right? It changes every day, and the number of states we're in change every day. And we expanded into Canada, in the same year across 6 provinces now. So we've had, just really, even in success, it's been, kind of even surprising to me is how quick we've been able to scale and grow this business and really win hearts and minds of our partners who, can look, first take a peek and say, okay, like, who are these guys and how long have they been around and what are they doing and what's their supply chain look like? And are the products tested? And, can I count on them? And what kind of support do they provide? And so the fact that we've been able to kind of scale our partner base in such a short time period, I think is a testament, not just to the team, but to the products that we build and the support that we provide our customers every single day.
And the performance of heat pumps are really forward facing right now. We have a lot of educators that are on the call today, many of which are refitting their classrooms to be able to properly educate on high performance heat pumps, particularly in the ductless realm. And for those that don't understand some of those numbers, that HSPF2, heating seasonal performance factor 2 of 12 is insane. I just finished doing an installation down at my farm with a system that I thought was incredibly efficient, and it was 11.3. So yeah, getting a 12 on that HSPF2 is quite interesting.
Yeah,
sure.
and 25 SEER2 is nothing to shake a stick at either. So yeah, the team's done a really good job putting that out. We're gonna have to talk about you sometime. You got woodworking shops and farms and all kinds of things. I'm jealous. Yeah,
I'm like the poster child of like OCD and ADHD.
We'll be best friends. You can ask anybody.
Yeah, my wife threatens to tranquilize me quite often.
I get it. So that's our story, and then now kind of getting in a little bit and kind of more into our products. So Quilt's a system made of 4 parts. So you have, starting on the left, you have our indoor head. I'll talk about these in detail, so kind of get into some of the differentiators on those products. You have our dial, which is essentially our thermostat, and replacing that traditional remote that gets lost and sometimes isn't the best at room by room control. Yeah. You have the Quilt app, which is a beautifully designed user interface that's meant to allow you to do all the same things you can do via the dial. Via an app if you're kind of laying in bed or doing all the things that kind of we normally do. And then our outdoor unit. So again, same industrial design that you see on the indoor unit, you see on the outdoor unit as well. So trying to make that as sleek as possible to where it blends in with your home. It doesn't look like, frankly, a traditional HVAC system at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, I agree. Yeah, Todd, that's a great point. Todd's joined us from Southern California. Todd's an HVAC nerd like myself. We see a lot of things coming to the market with innovations and technology, especially in the inverter realm. And I agree. I see the perfect opportunity for photovoltaic, adaptation down the road with a product like this, because it's, we're looking at new technologies. We're looking at innovative ways to, conserve energy, but still have a nice clean presence. And Yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
Todd.
and the cool thing for us too is that on the outdoor unit and even our indoor heads too is we're trying to also limit like SKU counts for our partners. So as opposed to having a
Absolutely.
6K, a 9K, a 12K, I'll get into this in a bit, right? We kind of run that in
Yeah.
into one IDU, and the same thing with our ODU, trying to do the best we can to be able to make sure that we're not having our partners have these like giant set of matchups that they can just from an efficiency and a supply chain and a cash flow and all the things that are super important to an HVAC dealer's business every single day. Like these are also the things that we're thinking about, right? From a manufacturer's perspective, and I think that puts us in a different category as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. What Jared had made a comment earlier about, is this one matchup or is this all of them? And that's one of the things that I wanted us to dive into with this product, which we're, like you said, we're going to here in a little bit. We're going to talk about, how we can manage the capacities on these systems and have as few SKUs as possible. I did a show, it's probably been a year ago, where I did a whole bunch of matchups of different heat pumps, all ducted systems, 3-ton, and just showed the heating capabilities. And then there were a few that just blew everyone out of the water. And everyone was asking, well, how do you do that? Like, it's very simple. You can have an oversized outdoor unit in heating. You just can't have it in cooling. And by understanding the programming, understanding the capabilities of the compressors, these
Yep.
inverter driven systems, we can manage a lot of parameters if we know how. So there's a lot of customization that installers and technicians could do, but most of them just don't know the equipment that well. So when you bring it into an automated system like Quilt is doing on the back end, it allows you to have a lot more flexibility with your controls of your variable speed
Yeah, I think the
systems.
industry is also in some cases like almost forced that behavior in certain cases because
Yeah.
again, you have so many SKUs, right? Sort of in there. And it's like, okay, well, I have one for this, I have one for this, and I have one for this. And so that's also some of the education that we're doing is like having the setup the way that we have it is not standard, right? In the industry. So I think there's the
No.
education piece that folks like you, right, are obviously helping, get the word out and explaining, and espousing the benefits of those things. So yeah, I appreciate you calling that out too.
Absolutely.
So you'll see again, we talked
Where is
about
it?
design here, but I think we launched our Quilt Hotels program actually this week. Our marketing team, just another kind of amazing launch. And there's some photos that you'll see on Quilt socials and other places, and like the game is like find the Quilt IDU because it's been wallpapered, right, or it's been painted or thing, to be able to have it blend in. And so this is just an example. Like this is obviously a very meticulously designed, kind of room, and also very minimalist. And so, but that Quilt IDU fits right in with the design of that room, and you can see it blends right in. So with our IDU, you can paint it. It comes with two face plates. You can have, or you can choose one of two face plates. You can either choose a standard white, or we also have a white oak, version. But for the white, you can paint it. You can wallpaper it, which you'll see in the middle, kind of image. Obviously on the right, kind of having it blend in with that blue color, in the room. And it can also match your style. So this is the white oak example. So you see in this kitchen, they've got sort of the white oak accent and white oak shelving and white oak in other places. And so, again, it blends right in with the design of that home and doesn't look like your traditional HVAC unit. You may think that's a shelf, or you may think that's just, kind of part of the overall, interior design experience in that room.
Correct.
And it also fits where other units don't. So your traditional ductless indoor heads are somewhere around 12 inches. Ours is 7 7/8. So we've shrunk all this capacity intelligence into a smaller form factor.
Yeah.
And you can fit it above things like doors and windows and mount on headers, just to be able to also make sure that you're installing it in maybe in some cases the most inconspicuous, but also in places where you traditionally haven't been able to install other ductless heads. So we have a minimum, recommended clearance of 4 inches, right, from the ceiling. And there's a few you can actually mount it a little bit closer than that, but that's our recommended difference to be able to install it in places that just make sense for that particular room.
Sure.
Some things that are just customer delighters. As you think about different ways that you can take these units and do simple things that just make them more desirable. A good example is accent lighting. So just like a piece of art or something else that you may have in that particular room, we have accent lighting that can accent a nook or again, this person's obviously reading in the image. We also do really cool things like you can have party mode and you can do all kind of sort of just like your electric car.
My girls would go
Totally,
nuts.
yeah.
They'd want one on every wall.
Yeah, when you're partying in the barn on Saturdays, doing a little bit of woodworking, you can have the lights going like crazy, and so yeah, just some small customer delighters that we have inside our products.
That's very interesting, actually. I really like that.
A powerful, efficient, and most importantly, quiet, outdoor unit. So, there's obviously, code is becoming, more standard for the decibel levels for outdoor units. So we talk about how it's, kind of quiet as a conversation, and making sure that we're building units that adhere to all those, kind of growing standards also.
Sure.
Most importantly for us, we talk about how the day that you install Quilt is the least intelligent it will ever be. So just like an electric car, or just like your smartphone, or just like a lot of other products that are in market today, we do OTAs on our products as we launch new software, firmware, product enhancements. And we do that through industry-leading intelligence through our Quilt Sense module. So this is a little black box that goes it's on the front of the IDU. So you'll see it kind of in the graphic here on the bottom, I guess, top right corner of that IDU.
Sure.
Ours is a Wi-Fi integrated system, but that device has the processing power of a smartphone. And so today we can do, occupancy detection and use millimeter wave, to be able to detect occupancy down to the heartbeat level. We do over-the-air updates. So we increased the capacity of our outdoor unit recently through that. From 18K to 24K, and we did it via a software update. We didn't start, build a new SKU. We didn't ask, a partner to be able to stock something else. We said, hey, we can actually, because of the variable speed inverter technology, we can make this, unit to be able to prove even stronger than it already is. And so let's do that. Let's do that for our partners and do that for our customers. And as you think about the future for us and sort of where we're going, as I mentioned, we know that building efficiency and helping our partners build efficiency into their business is arguably more important than the products that they sell. Right. And so, as we are, kind of working on proactive monitoring and diagnostic related tools and personalized recommendations, so just things that we can continue to build out, that'll be something that we'll have, we're looking to launch shortly, and to make sure that, we're continuing to build on our value proposition of continuing to provide value for our partners that's meaningful for their business.
You started touching on a great point, and I want to throw this up before I forget about it. Jared made a great comment, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to have Quilt with us today. Is, as a contractor, one of the concerns, one of the scenarios that we have is many of our installing technicians are trying to, get them in as fast as possible. Some of them are on piecework pay, so they're trying to get them done as fast as possible. And there is a lot of customization that can be done. Most of the time it does not get done. And that's why I like this approach that Quilt is taking, where they're using like the smart module, and, if it sees that the system is not maintaining performance, can actually do over-the-air updates to do modifications to the operation of it. It's like having that technician on site adjusting dip switches and capacities for a system, but it's being done completely remotely and is being monitored with AI. And that's the beauty of being forward thinking within our industry, is bringing those integrations in, which is really what we're talking about.
Yeah, we have those magicians called engineers, right? On the software engineers on the back end at Quilt, that kind of make all that magic happen behind the scenes. So if you're a partner and you have a particular, let's just say there's an issue with the system today, you can contact us. Our average hold time on support is 35 seconds. So nice. We respond and we answer the phone, and you can call up and we'll actually be able to look at the logs and be able to see, if there's, a cross line or a cross wire, or there's something that's, kind of an issue with the system. And then let's just say, for sake of argument, that there was some sort of software or firmware issue. We can roll out those updates like reasonably quickly, in most cases in days, right? To be able to make sure that we're, helping homeowners and helping partners as well. But yeah, I mean, to that point, we we are also working on a number of, I can't wait to do this conversation again, probably in, another 6 months
On the next layer.
where we'll be talking about some other things. But as you think about, commissioning and being able to ensure that when you install a product, that like you're not really doing any checkup, the product tells you that it's been installed correctly and properly. Like we totally agree with that, trying to make sure that it's as plug and play for partners, kind of as we possibly can. We're in a pretty good spot now, and I think that's only going to continue to improve.
Yeah, that's the future of our industry. I'm already sitting on committees with equipment manufacturers and utility organizations that are trying to push a required, a connected commissioning protocol to make sure that when these, systems that are being installed, that if a homeowner or contractor is applying for rebates, how do we know? I buy a HSPF 212 system. It can absolutely do that when installed properly.
That's right.
And so how do I make sure that it is? And even as a contractor, how do I make sure that that is happening? Even as an educator in a classroom, if we're doing, system performance, system diagnostics in a classroom, how do I know how well a system is performing? The data is there. We just now have to, utilize the right programming to look at that data, just to make sure, is it commissioned well? Is it running well? If not, let's look at why. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, 100%. And helping partners be able to educate customers too on the benefits of like things like auto away, right? Or these other tools that are there, to be able to save, energy in those cases. And I think, sometimes, because they may be concerned, right, about the performance of those particular features and not want to potentially upset that customer. And so I think it's also just about making sure that we're delivering on our promise and making sure they're also comfortable, right, with the features that we have, that they're going to work when the customer needs them, and what we say we're going to do is what we're going to do.
Yeah. No, you're right, Tom. This is why I wanted to have the conversation and have Quilt on, because it's the whole reason we do what we do. We think forward, and we want to help people prepare for that, so that when you see it for the first time, you don't go, "What's going on here?" We want to help you understand that this is where our industry is going. It's not going; it's here, and this is a great educational opportunity.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
No, you're fine, Tom. If you think that's cool, just give me a second, right? Because yeah. So this is where, kind of also as you think about differentiators. So like auto away and occupancy detection and all those things, right? There's a number of solutions out there that have that, feature in some form or fashion. But because of the advanced radar occupancy sensor, that we have, we can save homeowners up to an additional 44% on their energy bills. And we do that by reducing energy consumption in unoccupied rooms. And so it makes Quilt even more efficient, or the most efficient system like on the marketplace today. So if you kind of start out over there on the left and you look at energy consumption, electric baseboard heating, obviously not the most energy efficient solution on the planet. You kind of go down to your standard furnace and AC, and then your high efficiency furnace. You go into a central heat pump, which we hope more and more people continue to look at and adopt. One of Quilt's mission is to remove humanity off fossil fuels, and that's a bold mission, and that's an aggressive mission, but it's something that we believe in, tremendously. So you look at that central heat pump, and then you look at your traditional ductless heat pump. And then because of the intelligence that we have built into Quilt, right, because of the telemetry and all the different things that we have built in that Quilt Sense module, we can actually provide another layer of savings to be able to make it the most efficient system in the marketplace today. So this is where you can put this sort of story in front of a customer and talk about beautiful industrial design. You can talk about intelligence and over-the-air updates, and the system continues to get smarter. And oh, by the way, right, we can save 44% right against traditional systems. That's a value proposition and a use case that we just think is something that we can continue to empower partners to offer customers at the kitchen table.
Absolutely, yeah, Murph, you're so true. That as we continue this evolution of education, I mean, that's really what we've been, focusing on here at ESCO, is that we are in a evolution of education, not just evolution of industry. The education side has to maintain with these advancements. And so we're grateful that Quilt is hanging out with us today and helping educators and helping industry, recognize, what is happening around them right now.
Yeah, we agree. We know Murph. I don't know if I can call you Murph, but I'm going to call you Murph anyway. So yeah, we believe, training is unbelievably important for us, too, not just with our partners, but sort of ongoing. And again, our customer support team is kind of licensed HVAC, professionals and technicians that have installed these in homes every single day. And so we also want to give partners that comfort level that when you call us, right, that we're going to have an answer. It's not going to be a phone tree that's sort of looking at docs and trying to figure out what it is. Like, it's folks that have done it in the field before. And we want that to continue to be ongoing, and why we do things like the communications that you see here, whereas we increase the capacity on via the over-the-air update on our outdoor unit that increased capacity for heating and cooling by 20%. We're communicating that to homeowners, and we're communicating that to partners, and we're making sure that our partners are equipped with the story to be able to go tell there, not just, oh, hey, like this happened, but also why it happened and why it's important and how it's different than a lot of the other OEMs that you're installing today.
That actually answers a question that came in from Jared, who's asking, is any of this data get to the service tech? A perfect example.
Yeah. So Jared, you may also even be thinking about like some of the back end, kind of diagnostic stuff. And I would ask you to stay tuned there. We've got a lot of really exciting things coming down the pipe that will be able to kind of get technicians access to that level of data. You may be thinking about this too, but just in case it was something else, I bet so. Yeah, great. Teaser. And then our dial. So it's room by room control and whole home comfort. So with traditional ductless systems, you got to have, remotes in most cases, and it's a different remote for every kind of indoor head, or you've got to have a third party application plus a thermostat, right, to be able to control some of those things. With ours, we have this beautifully designed dial that allows you room by room control. So you can actually control every room in your home via that interface. You don't have to have one for every IDU. You could actually just have one dial in your home that would control the entire home. They can be wall mounted. They can be mounted on a tabletop or set on a tabletop, and just a really easy and intuitive way to be able to operate your home just like you would on a traditional central system that you may be more familiar with.
Does that rotate?
It doesn't rotate. No, that Nest company got a patent on that, so we got to be on Honeywell too. So yeah, we got to be careful there. But no.
Okay. Well, I seen that finger and I thought I got to ask anyhow.
Yeah, touchscreen. So, but yeah, the finger probably. I get why you would ask that question, but no, it doesn't rotate. And then the app. So again, the same things you can do on the dial, you can do via our applications, room by room control. You also get energy usage via the app. So you can see, on particular days, how your energy use is changing, day to day from a kilowatt hour perspective. Do all your schedules, enable, disable auto away, adjust temperatures. If you have a temperature sensor, you just want to average temperature sensing, you can do that via the app as well. So we've tried to make it as robust and also as beautiful and user intuitive as we do our hardware. We've got, again, an amazing design and creative team that is one of the most meticulous groups and most talented groups that I've ever been around and ever been a part of. And so this is also something that I think an app is almost an afterthought. And for us, it's really a core part of our offering, to homeowners.
Just a off the wall question. In heating mode, like say if you have like an away mode, how low can the temperature be set on that? Do you know offhand?
61 degrees, I believe. Yeah, is the lowest set point. And I think as you guys know, it's just from a safety perspective, because it drops below that, it can get can sometimes cause issues with the system. We get a fair amount of feedback that folks would like it to go lower, and so it's something that we're evaluating. But it's 61 today.
Okay,
great question. Homeowners love Quilt. So customer CSAT, if we monitor customer CSAT, so even if it's installed or when our products are installed by a partner, we send out a post install survey. And so we have a 4.8 out of 5-star CSAT score. And that monitors not just their satisfaction with our system, but also their satisfaction with our installation partner, because we are very, very, very thoughtful about the partners, the HVAC dealers across the country that we select. So we're about quality versus quantity, and we want folks that are as customer obsessed as we are and believe in the power of our products and our brand. And we are also probably one of the OEMs that will say that their brand is the most important brand in the marketplace, today, because they're the one resonating with homeowners locally in that particular market. But we get a ton of great feedback about, the synergy between the hardware, software, and design, about how, they blow the competition out of the water when it comes to aesthetics and just overall a quality of life upgrade in some cases for folks who have never had heating and cooling, right? In places like Portland, Oregon, that got up to 120, right, last year. And they're starting to try to understand that that's something that they need. So we're a customer delighter for homeowners, and we're a customer delighter for our partners, also. I wish I could play this, but this is if you guys are bored, you can go to our YouTube page after, which I would encourage you to do kind of after the, actually click. Do you think you can play it?
Yeah. If you want to talk just for a second, I'm going to see if I can't pull that up. I forgot that the PowerPoints in here doesn't play videos properly, and that's my fault.
If it doesn't work, that's totally okay. But if not, go to our YouTube page afterwards. This is June. June is my favorite customer. So there's this idea that, Quilt maybe for like high-end homes, or it's expensive, right? Which it's not. It's competitive with your kind of, Mitsubishi products or Daikin products or some of the others. But this is like for this high-end, kind of design. And this is a beautiful woman who lives in a mobile home in California, who actually, purchased our products based off some low-income rebates, and is just like my favorite customer testimonial of all time.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll be able to play the audio through here.
Don't sweat it. Check out June at some point in time. I want her to be my grandmother. So
yeah, and I will. Let me grab the link to it, and I will put that into the chat for everyone, so that you can just grab that and go when we get done too. Not right now though. You come back and watch it when we're done.
Yeah, it just shows that this is a product for everyone, right? And for June loves the app and loves all the things that it can do and loves the efficiency, and just obviously she's one of my favorite people, so you should check it out.
Cool, I like it.
All right, so kind of getting into specs. So we talked about some of these across our 2-zone system. So we have 2 outdoor units. We have a 2-zone outdoor unit and a 3-zone outdoor unit. Our 2-zone outdoor unit can also be set up in a 1-to-1 application. So you just leave one port open.
Okay.
So that, again, as we think about SKU count, and as we think about trying to make, from a cash flow perspective or from an operational perspective, making this really, really easy on our partners. So you see sort of indoor unit, capacity and heating and cooling. Our system can ramp up and ramp down. So our indoor head is rated by AHRI rated at 9K, but it can ramp, down to 2100 in heating or 1800 in cooling, and then up to 12,000, just based with one indoor head. We don't have a 6K, a 9K, a 12K.
Right.
We do all that inside one indoor unit today. And then you see the outdoor unit capacity in that 2-zone application as well. So in cooling, again, it was 18K before, and we actually ramped it up to 24 via a software update. We're also super efficient in cold weather. So Quilt is very much a cold weather system. So with the weather that we have going on across the country, you see our heating capacity at 5 degrees Fahrenheit, at -5 degrees Fahrenheit, and then at -13 degrees Fahrenheit. So still maintaining really, really strong efficiency, even in really, really low cold weather temperatures.
So you don't have a 1-to-1 matchup. Yours is always a minimum two head outdoor unit.
Yeah, but you can just install one, and you can use our 2-head, our 2-zone outdoor unit, and just install it as a 1-to-1 application. We see it all the time. Probably about 30-ish% of our installs today are a 1-to-1 application using a 2-zone outdoor unit.
And it's beautiful because if down the road the homeowner wants to do, add something on, or wants to add a little extra in one spot, you're already set up. All you got is a line set indoor unit and some control wire.
You nailed it. And it's the same thing with our 3-zone. Our 3-zone unit, same thing. We're seeing this also installed in a very similar scenario where I'm going to use a 3-zone outdoor unit. I'm only going to install 2 indoor heads, but I'm going to use that third port as potential additional capacity as you need to expand or there's different use cases in that particular home. So you see, again, the most efficient 3-zone ductless heat pump in the market today, really strong SEER2 and HSPF2 scores. And then again, I won't read them out to you. You guys can obviously see them, but you see just really, really strong capacity and strong cold weather performance as well.
Yeah, and Paul, so the smaller unit is 2 indoor heads, and the larger unit is 3 indoor heads. So
You got
it's a direct contact. You can't like parallel indoor units. You have one connection from the outdoor unit to the indoor unit, which would have your line set and your control wire.
That's exactly right. And we do see, and we see them, they can be stacked, right? We see a number of different, applications. That we actually have one going in Ontario here in a few weeks. That's a 14 IDU job. So they've got, a number, again, 4 or 5 outdoor units, right?
Yeah.
For that particular application. So, and again, going in a very, very, kind of cold weather market.
Those are some serious heating numbers, by the way.
Yeah, we don't mess around. We have a thermal engineer who, I think, he makes me uncomfortable kind of sitting around him because he's, I'm, again, one of the most brilliant people that we've ever met. But they've done, again, just a tremendous job in being able to take, a very, very, very small form factor and being able to build a really, really efficient system.
Yeah, that's tuned very well. I can just tell from that. Nice. Any questions so far? Anybody out there? I know this is, the technology, or the equipment itself. A ductless unit is probably not new to you. A 2-port and a 3-port unit may not be new to you, but the way we're utilizing it and the way that we are adapting the technology probably is. So, if you have any questions, let us know in the chat, and we'll see if we can't get to them. Yeah,
I've covered some of this stuff, obviously already. So again, we talked about efficiency with the most efficient ductless system. We've got really advanced occupancy and an ultra, ultra low turn down. The intelligence of the systems with diagnostics and energy reporting, super intuitive control, and then again, best in class design. And that's what really makes things different for our partners. And so, just briefly getting into our partner program.
Yes, please.
Today. So we've got over 70 leading HVAC contractors across the country as partners since we launched our partner program in May. So our growth's been tremendous. This number, this slide basically gets old every day.
Except for the popsicle air. That is just, I love that logo. That's
their branding's great.
I can't get tired of looking at that. That's great.
No, their branding's fantastic. And so this continues to grow.
Right.
We've got a really good mix of partner size. We have some folks that, are small kind of growing businesses. And we also have some that are really large partners. And so for us, it's about the quality of partner and folks that are embracing heat pumps and put us in their price books, and we're part of their quotation tool, and just really making sure that they feel that we are a differentiator, not just another addition to their portfolio. That's not who we want to be. We want to partner with folks in market that believe in this transition as much as we do.
Sure.
And so, kind of talking about what it means to partner with Quilt. Differentiating your business, like we are the most efficient 2-zone and 3-zone heat pump in the marketplace today, but we're also not overly distributed. Like, we're really thoughtful about the number of partners that we select. And so we don't want to be a scenario where we're, sort of at every dealer on every corner. So we give our partners the opportunity to be able to talk about something that, their competitors, don't have. They're able to close more ductless deals at a higher price point because they're addressing these unmet needs for customers. They're, addressing the design and addressing the remote scenario and the control and the whole home comfort piece. They're elevating their brand with access to our strategic marketing resources. So when you come on board as a partner, we actually give you a 90-day starter kit where we literally say in week 1, do this. In week 2, do this from a marketing perspective. We give heating and cooling season campaigns to be able to make sure they have all the right assets across print and digital and radio and TV. And we iterate those, kind of as we go. And then every one of our partners gets a partner success team. So a partner success manager in most cases to help them grow and manage their business. So if they have questions about our products or have questions about how to install or have questions about anything, we're there to be able to support you at any moment. We value our relationship. We sell direct to dealer. We value our relationship with partners, and we hope that they sort of see the value in that direct line of communication, with us.
One question that came in, I was just looking on your site to see, there is a find an installer. What about the distribution? Do you have a list of distributors in different areas around the country?
Yeah, so we actually sell direct to dealer. So we don't sell through distribution today.
Yep,
and it's a conscious choice for a number of reasons. But I think the most important reason for us is that as we're continuing to be thoughtful about our partners, making sure that we're not kind of creating this scenario where everyone has access to the product, because then it typically creates a race to the bottom, right? You have a lot of partners who are in market, who are doing a lot of work to be able to grow Quilt's awareness or Quilt brand, or, kind of sell Quilt at the kitchen table. And we want to avoid, kind of everyone having access, to it. We want to be able to be selective about our partners. So, and we also want to be able to lean in really heavily from a training perspective or from a support perspective. And so, so if you're interested in becoming a Quilt partner, you can reach out to us on the site and you'll get hooked up to our sales team, and they'll kind of walk through the benefits and the requirements of our certified partner program. And we would love for anyone to reach out to be able to learn more about what that is.
And I put links in the chat, both for the tech specs for the equipment as well as the partner link. So both of those should be accessible for everyone to grab a hold of.
Yeah, great.
One of the things that came in, Jared, you're right. So many times manufacturers will have, just maximum performance, not at different temperatures. That'd be a good opportunity to look through the installation manual for extended heating data. And some of that we've already showed actually at the 5, -5, and -13. So those are your heating data tables for those extended temperatures. I'm the same way. I want to look at extended heating temperatures. Don't just tell me 47. Let me see down in realistic temperatures. So that 5, -5, and -13, that's very, very good numbers to share. We appreciate that.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, we did really good on time. So
perfect. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone has any additional questions, things that they want to, ask more about Quilt or, making connections, I will be at AHR. Will any of your team be at AHR next week?
We will be. We'll actually have an event at Resorts World on Tuesday. We're doing a really cool happy hour from 3 to 6. And if you want just to talk about how different Quilt is, we actually have a tattoo artist that will be at the steakhouse that we're having it at. And so if you want to get a heat pump tattoo, we'll have someone there that'll be able to give you one. So don't be shy. We'd love to see you. And Clifton, if you have anybody reach out and wants an invite, we're happy to pass it along.
And the best ways to connect with Quilt, Mark?
You can reach out to hello@quilt.com is one of the easiest ways to do it, and that'll get passed along to the applicable team. There's also partners. If you're interested in becoming a dealer, there's partner sales, one word, @quilt.com. But hello@quilt.com will get you routed to the right person.
Excellent. I'll put that at the bottom here. hello@quilt.com. We'll throw a banner out for that one.
Deal. And we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we got that in the chats as well. All right. Well, Mark, we're sure grateful that you joined us. I'll definitely be looking out for you all at AHR. I'll be heading out there Saturday. I'll be out there Saturday through Thursday, so it's going to be a crazy busy week. And I hope that everyone has a chance to connect, reach out, and make contact with Quilt, learn about the products. And we're grateful for the training, the time you spent with us today.
You're welcome. Looking forward to doing more of these. Hope this is one of many. And thanks so much for being willing to allow us this time today, and for doing such an amazing job that you're doing to sort of kind of educate the industry and make sure that they're aware of the latest and greatest products. So thanks for being an advocate. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. ESCO has always prided itself in being ahead of innovations, keeping the industry aware of what's changing and making sure that you've got the right connections to be successful in your career, whether you're an educator, a contractor, a technician, a student, sometimes even homeowners.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We're grateful that you're hanging out with us. We will see you all next week. I will be doing a show once I get back. We're going to spend some time with FM Hero next Thursday to dive into new refrigerant regulations and refrigerant tracking for smaller systems below 50 pounds with the new EPA required tracking updates. So we'll see you all next week. And thank you for joining Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. Bye, everybody.
Take care, y'all.